Hello and welcome to Aura Talks. My name is Leandra, I'm a human design specialist and I used to work in the holistic health sector. And in this video we're going to talk about astrology and specifically about sun, moon and rising and what that actually means and how you can use it for your interpretation. And unfortunately, most people think of astrology as something that you can read in a newspaper, which will tell you what your week is gonna look like, or they just know their sign, which they call it, which might be a Capricorn or whatever, and that's why you are a certain way. But astrology is actually much more complex than that and goes much deeper. So it's an ancient system that has been existing since thousands of years, and it came through observation from the sky and therefore from patterns that evolved around that, which manifested in the individual but also on a collective scale. That means that by this observation we can read or we can sense what are the patterns that we navigate by, what are the patterns that an individual operates by. And that is transported into language, which is astrology. So in astrology, we actually have 12 signs, which you might be familiar with, which are Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, and Sagittarius. So that's probably what you know about astrology. And then we also have different planets. So we would have the Sun, the Moon, the Mercury, Venus, etc., etc. So all the planets from our solar system. And then we also have 12 houses. So the houses represent certain areas of our life, certain aspects of life. And all these three components now come together and can be combined in different variations. So for example, you could have your Venus in Capricorn in the 4th house, or you could have Leo in Aquarius in the 7th house. So depending on your sign, your star sign, in which planet it holds and in which house it is, it has a total different meaning. And then all these different combinations of the planets that we find here will form so-called angles, which could be a square, a trine, an opposition, and I forgot something. So they could put different, a trine was the last one. So they could put different positions on the sky which are either beneficial or challenging, or they also tell us something about the relationship between them. So you can already see it is much more complex than it might seem on the first glance, which makes sense because not every Capricorn will be exactly the same. It just means that there are certain baseline frequencies or certain tendencies that might repeat for all Capricorns, but then obviously it depends on the whole context of a chart. And that is why it makes so much sense to, if you're interested in, seek a professional astrologer at one point and get a professional reading. Like with everything in life, seek a professional if you want to get the shortcut and have an overall view on that. But in this specific video, I want to introduce specifically Sun, Moon and Rising to you and what that means, because if you know these three and potentially even in which house they are, then you already know quite a bit about yourself. Why Sun, Moon and Rising? Because these make up the biggest energies in your chart. We also have all the other planets. We altogether have 10 different planets if we count the moon and the sun. And then we also have the north node, the south node, the ascendant, the descendant, the midheaven, and the IC, which will be constellations. And then we also have other aspects like Chiron, Lilith, etc., which will give us even a little bit more insight about ourselves. But if we already take all the planets and specifically Sun, Moon and Rising, these make up the biggest percentage basically of who you are. The sun sign is what you probably always call your star sign or your zodiac sign, which is actually called your sun sign. That means That is the position of the sun, which it was in the moment in time of your birth. So I'm, for example, born in January, so the sun was in Capricorn, as we know. So my sun sign would be Capricorn. But as I said before, my Capricorn could be in the first, second, third, fourth, so on house, and be combined with planets, different other planets in the same house. So that's what makes it more complex. The sun, however, always stands for your core identity. We could call it your soul. It's for who you truly, deeply are on the inside, your core values, your life work, what you're here to bring into this world. But then we also have the ascendant or the rising sign that's used simultaneously, which shows us another area, another aspect of ourselves, which will be the representation that we give to the outside world. So basically your personality, how you connect, how you interact with others, but also your physical appearance. We can always see that there are certain tendencies from the rising sign on how we actually look. So the rising sign is what people see first about you, and that's why sometimes it doesn't really make sense to guess a star sign, if you would call it like this, so basically meaning the sun sign of someone, because the first representation will be more likely the rising sign or the ascendant. And then if we look in the other direction, on the deepest inside, we find the moon. So the moon is the emotional theme. It's what's on the subconscious side. It's what's truly deeply hidden within you, what not many people probably get to see or get to face. So if we put it like layers, we would have the rising or the ascendant. Then we have the sun, which is your core identity, and even a deeper layer would be your moon sign. So if you take all these three together, you can already have a quite good image, if you know the signs of them, of your general broader sense of identity. And what can also help to know is if you look at the elements that all the different signs hold. So we have earth, we have air, we have fire, and we have water signs. Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo are earth signs, meaning they are very grounded, very down to earth, very straightforward, very loyal, very hardworking, very reliable, generally speaking. Then we have the air signs, which are Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. So they're a little bit more floaty, they're very about the mind, a lot of thinkers, they're very talkative, they love to maybe travel, they're very easy to be around with, very light energy. That is air sign. Then we have the water signs, which are Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio, which are very emotional, very sensitive, very deep, very much in the subconscious mind. So they might be the ones being a little bit more in the ups and downs, in the flow of life, like a Cancer, right? Or like a Pisces, like you can actually even imagine it when you see these signs in front of you. And then we have the fire signs, which are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, which are here to be the initiators, the starters. They have so much fire within them. They want to be seen, they want to go out in the world, they want to be active and do things. They have so much internal fire within them. So knowing the elements of your sign, your sun, moon, and rising sign, can already also show you what is the most predominant energy in your chart. Let's say you have Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo in your sun, moon, and rising. Means that you're a very earthy person, you're a very grounded person, very loyal, very much connected to the straightforward earthly plane. Whereas if you would have a lot of water, that would be your most predominant energy. So yeah, take a look at your chart. I will provide you some free chart calculators down below. You can check all of these and let me know what you think. Does that resonate with you? And what are your sun, moon, and rising, if you know? I'm sending you so much love, and bye for now.